Alright, so way back in like 2011, I was a part of a clan called DVS Gaming. I was in PlanetSide 2 as a new conglomerate, and I was one of the... Actually, I was the best player in the world for a long time. Basically, in beta, they had a tournament called the RadarX Challenge, which basically started off where people play by themselves on a live server, and whoever was the best won $5,000. Well, I won that first tournament by a fucking landslide, and they were cool and everything like that. I won it, I got my money, etc., whatever. It was great. So that happens. The next year, I go over to the Ultimate Empire, or the Ultimate Squad, or Ultimate Empire Showdown. It's the same year. Basically, this was a PR event. And this is where it all started. This was a PR event set up by Sony Online that basically was supposed to have Twitch personalities and YouTube personalities representing each faction. For the NC, it was C Nanners. For the TR, it was Total Biscuit. And for the Vanu, it was Level Cap. Well, the event in its premise was basically all the factions would fight for live dominance over a test server on a certain continent, where they would basically have challenges laid out to them, and they would have to complete them, and everybody would get credit, and blah, 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 best faction wins, etc., etc. So, I was new conglomerate. C Nanners, for example, was found last minute. He didn't want to play PlanetSide. He didn't even care. He didn't put any effort into it. He just didn't give a fuck. And because of this, you know, all the NC people that were there, they were just, like, super demoralized, whatever. NC didn't expect to win whatsoever. We went in, we were fine. Well, the challenges were basically capture a certain facility, have the most facilities, capture a certain percentage of territory, etc., etc. And every empire had 666 people, completely maxed out. It was all fair. Well, long story short, the Vanu won 5 out of 7 challenges, or 4 out of 7 challenges. The judges even said this, but because Total Biscuit was there, and because, you know, I guess the feelings of all of the Vanu players and all of the Vanu people that were on the server didn't matter, and none of the tournament, I guess, mattered, they decided that, oh, we were going to leave it up to popular vote through Twitter and YouTube and all that, and whoever got the most votes for winning won the tournament. So, of course, because Nanners and Level Cap weren't even nearly as popular or had as much social presence as Total Biscuit, they went and they gave Total Biscuit the fucking thing and said, TR win, the other 2 factions lose, congrats. Because I guess the whole plan all along was to have Total Biscuit and the Terran Republic win the fucking tournament. Which in itself was complete bullshit, because even though it wasn't Vanu, they won that tournament. They won. They straight up fucking won. They worked their ass off for 9 hours and won the tournament. They won 4 of 7. So they give the trophy to Total Biscuit, they give the award to the TR, they say the TR wins everything, it's completely rigged. Everyone leaves feeling like it was a complete bullshit shit show that we all wasted our time on, and we never should have gone there. So that was the first incident. The second incident, we go to Sony Live 2013, I think it was, and we participate in what's called the Ultimate Squad Showdown, where you have to fly 6 people in for PlanetSide 2, and basically participate in a who is the best squad, who's the best faction tournament. And the way this worked is it was divided into points. You get like 10 points per kill, and then your total kill score is multiplied by your KD ratio, whatever. Anyway, so every squad got an hour to go and do whatever they wanted. Basically, whoever got the most points, whatever wins. Base captures counted as 100, but it had to be a full base capture, which had a separate point in the game. There were very specific rules laid out to this tournament. The primary of which is that any game exploit or cheat would result in immediate disqualification from the game. Exploit meaning anything that gave you an unfair advantage score-wise would be disqualified from the game. There was a guy there who runs these social media tournaments and these PlanetSide tournaments way back when, named RadarX. And RadarX, if the audio is still too loud, so RadarX basically did not like the clan I was a part of, which was DVS Gaming. This dude, somehow, through being at the company for many, many years, was basically allowed to do whatever childish fucking shit he wanted to do And it shows later in this tournament. He just hated us, and basically his word was law, whatever he does. Later on, this guy becomes a huge pain in our ass, including involving Joe, and it's just a complete shit show, but we'll get to that part of the story. So, long story short, we're participating. There's this clan, I don't remember the Future Crew, I remember. They're participating, and it's worth mentioning that they start exploiting like fucking crazy. There was a bug in the game at the time where if you were at an unoccupied base, and you had one person go and flip a biolab capture point, and you had them run off and you quickly recaptured it, it gave you what was considered a full base cap. So they did this for the entire hour they were playing, and because of this, they had something like 16,700 points, which was astronomically high compared to the second best team, which was us. Well, anyway, while they were doing this, the judges straight up called them out on it and said they were disqualified. That they were abusing a game exploit, they weren't actually playing in the thing in the tournament. Whatever, they were disqualified. They got disqualified, they still kept doing it. So they're doing this, and we go up to play. We play. Our first and second score people, myself and a guy named Waffle Owned You, we had more points than, just with our kills and KD score, than all the other teams combined, not counting the other 4 people on our team. We won fairly by about 4,000 points. It was insane. Like, the judges walked up to us, Golden Boy walked up to us. Everyone was like, you guys won, there's no way, congratulations, etc. Well, they go back to score these points, and RadarX is the one judging. And he goes, and he says, oh, I'm gonna let the team that exploit keep their points, because he didn't like us. So, we get to the stage, and they call up the team that was disqualified as first place winners. And they say, congratulations, you won, you get the money, you get $5,000, virtually invalidating the entire tournament because those people that got disqualified won. So then the second team there that was exploiting, which got disqualified as well, got second place for cheating. And so we were like, what the fuck? So third place went to us. In the contract for the Sony On Live tournament that we were participating in, it said that Sony was obligated to release the tournament scores and how everything was judged. We signed that contract, it was legal, they were forced to give out the scores. RadarX refused to post the scores because he knew that the 1 and 2 team had cheated and that it would show without a doubt that it was completely biased, corrupt, and fucked up. Especially since the team that won only got 6 kills. So where the hell did they get all their points from? Cheating. And so fucking everyone starts demanding that they put the points up. You know, hey, prove that they won this, prove that they actually earned the tournament, things like that. You know, prove that they earned the points, because everyone there knew that they had cheated. My whole team knew that they had cheated. The judges even knew that they had cheated. And the judges even came over later and said, look, we don't know why they didn't keep the disqualification, they clearly cheated. But Radar refuses to post the scores, even though it's in the contract saying they're legally obligated to post the scores of how everything was judged, for transparency and fairness' sake. Refuses to do it. So people start going on the forums, talking blah, blah, blah. He starts banning everyone on the PlanetSide forums that bring up the score posts or wants an in-depth breakdown. Starts saying that anyone that posts this shit will get banned permanently from the forums and nobody will be allowed to see anything and they'll never be unbanned and blah, blah, blah. So basically, whole corrupt as fuck. Eventually, enough people are getting banned, like hundreds of people are getting banned because everyone's like, post the fucking scores, that he says, fine, I'm going to post the final scores, I'm not posting the actual scores of how it was judged. So the cheating team gets posted and they have something like 16,000 points because they got 181 full base captures in 1 hour, which if anyone's ever played PlanetSide is impossible. And so he acts like a little fucking spoiled child and starts banning everybody afterwards that still wanted the in-depth breakdown, even though the company was legally obligated to do that. So everyone's getting banned, everyone's pissed up. The team was so far ahead of my team, and we had 1,600 kills compared to their 7 in the 1 hour period, that it was so obvious they cheated, and nothing was done about it, that he just got scot-free about it. He acted like a little baby, he disqualified, or he undisqualified teams that cheated, just so that my team wouldn't win. We thought that he was going to get fired. It was a huge fiasco. He just kept banning people, being a complete asshole. We basically gave up on the game. Fast forward to when I meet Angry Joe, and he wants me to go play in the next showdown, and they want us to promote the game and go there and assure us that everything's fine. I tell Joe all of this story before we go there, all right? Joe doesn't believe me. He doesn't believe that the tournament was that corrupt, that fucked up, that mismanaged, and that there was no way a company would let the person that's responsible for that to continue being in the company. So Joe gets asked by Sony to come out and play in this tournament. They straight up ask him to play to promote the game and that it'll be fun, and they'll match him against a team of equal skill because 5 out of the 6 people on the team he brings, none of them have ever played PlanetSide very long or were very good at the game, and it was supposed to be a PR thing, right guys? So we all go out to Vegas, all 6 of us.
Losing objective.
Joe goes out there, it's a cool little event, and RadarX is running the tournament again. Well, RadarX sees that I'm on the team and doesn't like Joe. I don't know why Radar doesn't like Joe at all. He just doesn't like Joe. So we sign up for the tournament, they ask us to go out there and play, and we're all happy, we're like, okay, we're gonna play, it'll be fun, they wanted us to do this. RadarX walks up to Joe like he fucking owns the place, tells Joe, you're disqualified and not allowed to play in this tournament because you're an employee of Sony Online Entertainment, therefore you're not allowed to participate. Sorry, tough shit. And Joe just is basically like, what the fuck is your problem? I was literally asked to play in this tournament. You guys basically flew us out here to play in it. And RadarX is like, too fucking bad. You're not allowed to play. Go home. So Joe has to go up to the 2nd level of the fucking casino we're at, find Sony's lawyers, and basically get them to come down, pull RadarX aside, and tell him that he's basically in a ton of shit. Joe's supposed to play in it. It's complete bullshit. So Joe goes and asks, how the hell am I qualified as an employee of Sony Online? By the rules, I'm not allowed to participate. So Joe is basically told that because Joe worked with Maker or something 2.5 years before that, and Maker at one point was paid to do a video for PlanetSide, that makes Joe an employee. Basically complete bullshit, and Radar just didn't want Joe there, didn't want me there, because he's a little man-child and didn't get what he wanted. So because he's super pissed off that Joe is still allowed to play in the tournament, we go and we set up. And the way the tournament originally was supposed to work was 32 down to 16 teams, down to 9 or 8 teams, down to 4 teams, down to 2, then a basically elimination bracket. Well, they had technical difficulties, and teams were supposed to be matched up against teams of equal skill and everything. But because of technical difficulties, they threw that entire score system out the window. So no longer was it elimination. It became down to teams fight 2 other teams, and the teams with the most score end up winning in the end, and whoever wins get the points. So this is somewhat fair. You get 3 chances to win. It's balanced. You get put against teams of equal skill. Whatever. The first 2 matches of that happen, right? And we're waiting our turn. The team that ends up beating us is the team that won last year from cheating. Keep that in mind, the Future Crew guys. So they were cheating their asses off last year. Also, I don't know how I haven't died in this fucking horse, or on this tank. So, they end up cheating the year before, so we were like, what the fuck? Anyway, they get put up against a team of NC people. I don't remember the name of the clan, but the clan legitimately beats them. But because one of the 8 teams playing at the time had technical difficulties, the team gets they say, oh, none of that match counts, even though it was straight up played out and they won and they earned it. RadarX says, oh, that doesn't count, none of it counts, redo it. So at this point, the team knows the other team's skill or strategy, shits on them because they know the strategy, and then it goes into round 3. We haven't played yet at this point. So then finally, none of this ends up mattering. He says, none of this is mattering. We're doing best of 1. Whoever gets the most score wins. So you'd think, okay, the only way this is going to be fair is if the teams are matched up against equal skill team. So they go and they do that. They match the best teams against the best teams, the worst teams against the worst teams. We're put up against a really bad team because it's for PR. And we think, okay, whatever. At least the people that win are going to earn it. RadarX sees that we're on the team and who we're against. He knows we're the worst team ever, and because we got him yelled at, he takes the #1 team there, which is the team that cheated last year, moves them down from fighting somebody equal to them, and puts them against us. So for the entire time we're playing, And well, before that, we go up to him and he's like, "Oh no, I think it's a fair balance." Blah blah blah. When everyone there know that they're the best team at that time, and they were being put against us. So we go into the game and they literally shit stomped the team because 5 of our players have never played before. We were there for the point of playing his social media. The entire time, Joe knows what's happening. Joe knows that this guy acted like a little fucking man-child again, put us against the worst team because Joe had to go get a lawyer to come down to tell him to fuck off. And so because we're losing so bad and because they were given such an easy match, they win the tournament again. Because RadarX acted like a child. And so they won all the money. They invalidated the entire tournament a second time because RadarX acted like a child. And so everyone there is super pissed off and everyone's frustrated, and it's just a complete shit show because nobody was actually given a chance to validate their $4,000 or $5,000 they spent to go on the tournament. So because he did it again, he ruined another tournament, invalidated the entire thing, basically made it a complete unfair event because he knew who was going to win based on his decision, and never got in trouble with it. The entire thing was rigged. Like, from the very beginning, because he didn't want us to win. He won. Like, they won. Because he wanted us to get shit out, he threw the entire balance of the tournament away. He put the best team in the game against us. And ruined the entire thing.
Objective Duff. We are losing objective
and
Duff.
so we think there's no way. And it was the only time Joe apparently has ever come close to making a video to specifically shit talk a specific person. Because that ruined everything. It was a complete shit show. It was a complete insult to everything that was like fair and balanced. And it was just a joke.
We have lost objective Duff.
Just a complete and utter joke. Why didn't he? Because it didn't fit the channel and we didn't want to like start doing shit like that. Or he didn't want to start doing shit like that. But long story short, dude, Sony and RadarX, just worst fucking person we've ever met in a company. And when Daybreak Games fired everybody, he somehow kept his job and was still in Daybreak. So at that point, the company's just shit, dude. Like, we're never doing anything for them because he still has his job. Even though he acts like a man-child and completely fucking ruined 2 tournaments that people spent tens of thousands of dollars to get to and play in. He literally, all these teams were just people that loved their game, and he fucking invalidated all their money spent, all their faith in the game, because he didn't get his way and he wanted to have us suffer. So he gave the tournament away to somebody, and it was like, I knew 99% of the people that were playing in this tournament because I was the first Battle Rank 100 new conglomerate in the world. And I knew all these people playing, and Future Crew were full of like the smuggest fucking cheating, exploiting little pieces of shit. And I would hoped that if they had won, it had been earned. They cheated the year before and were given it because Radar didn't want us to win. And they were literally given the tournament because he put them against the worst team there. And it was based on total score and who won. And it was just a fucking shit show. It was just total shit show. Oh, chat asked me to tell a story of why I hate Daybreak Games, and it was a very long and drawn-out story. I don't think I can kill that horse. The horse killed me after I killed him. He literally sabered me after he was already dead. Yeah, he still works there last we checked. Basically, long story short, that dude is the shittiest person I've ever seen working at a video game company. And I have never hated somebody that works at a company like I do. That guy. Not because of what he did to us, but because what he did to everybody that loved their game and how they cared about it, and they just wanted it to be a fair tournament.
We have taken objective George.
I don't know why I spawned here. I think there's a super gun that spawns here. I don't know where it spawns though. I think it's like a super machine gun. Oh, hey. Long story short, there's a really corrupted piece of shit man-child that works at Daybreak Games. And it's why we won't ever work with the company ever. Ever. Ever.